What is unalive drive? Why is it so important that I put it in my author profile? And do I have to actually say unalive drive? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Please help me in the comments. The real problem with unalive drive is you ask any psychoanalyst what it means and they'll give you a different answer, because Freud himself didn't understand what it was when he discovered it. The main work in which we get to that is in Beyond the Pleasure Principle, but in subsequent writings, Freud vacillated on what the meaning and significance of unalive drive is. And to get to that, you have to go to other thinkers who unpacked it for him, namely Jacques Lacan and Slavoj Žižek. Now, what unalive drive is not is the wish to end it all. It's not this engagement with thanatos. If you think about it in terms of a moth flying into a flame, the moth doesn't want to burn up. The moth wants to fly to the sun and experience beautiful sunny days there. So in this situation, the moth is giving up what's good for it, not burning, in order to achieve something that's transcendent, the idea of flying around neatly in the sun. So in terms of being beyond the pleasure principle is what's good for us, what our needs are, bodily, etc., but also socially. Unalive drive is the means in which we supersede that. Unalive drive is something that we access in all kinds of fiction. My favorite example is Moana. Moana gives up the good of being in the village. She feels this longing and draw to go what's beyond the horizon. And even though it gets expressed in the mission she has, she undergoes a transformation through her unalive drive that resets who she is, and she becomes a wayfinder. Spoilers for Moana, I guess. Now, the self-sabotage of unalive drive is more complicated than the moth example. This is something that is unique to humans. You can think of the person putting the spokes into their own bicycle wheel. The point being, you unconsciously perform actions to keep this cycle going, so the failure gets missed again and again, and you have this void that you're circling. So it's not just what animals do, but I do think it's still a useful example. So the main point of unalive drive is by setting aside our needs and environs, we become most us, but also at the expense of something potentially catastrophic, or at the very least very transformative and violent in that sense. And this relates to our monsters, which you should follow if you want to hear more about that, or check out my novel on pre-order, Where We've Made It Dark. But we all engage in unalive drive, whether we know it or not, and most of all in the art that we love.